All right, everybody, here we go. I'm trying a Google Hangout. Let's see if this is going to work. I've been doing just some straight up video podcasts, but I thought I would go ahead and try this out and see if I get any people that might connect with me. But what I want to do is I want to talk about carriers of fire, and I talked to someone today from Canada, and it was a good conversation, and she was mentioning the desire to connect with other like-minded people out there, and revivalists, and those that are investing in the prayer movement and these types of things. And so I want to do my best to help you all with that, to where we can stay connected, where we can compare some prophetic data, see what the Lord's doing. But what I want to do right now, since this is my first hangout, I just want to check some things here, make sure that I've got everything going the right way. Let's take a look here. So you can join if you want to join. If you have an account with Google, you can do that. Let's see here. All right, well, we're going to see how it goes. And there are there's an opportunity for you to ask questions over on the right-hand side, and shoot me questions. I'd be happy to answer them for you, but I'm just going to get into this. I have no idea if anybody's even watching right now. I just shot this out a few minutes ago, just didn't give anybody a whole lot of heads up. But the Carriers of Fire vision is it's brand new, and it's not something that I'm working hard at developing quickly, unless there's traction, unless God makes it clear that we need to do that. But I do want to start the process of getting the word out. And we're in a season of very, very interesting transition here in the ministry in Detroit. And more we're moving to a media-driven ministry. And so I'm going to be doing, in addition to traveling, I'm going to be doing a lot of different media events where I can connect with people all over the world, because I absolutely love to do that. I think it's important that we do that, actually. And I've talked to people everywhere, and what I often hear is that people feel alone. They feel like God's doing something in their life. He's awakening them. They've got this passion for revival. They want to see the prayer movement advance, on and on and on, but they seem to be the only person in their region, is what it feels like, that's actually going after that. And so I've been able to encourage them, as I've been talking to people all over the world this past year, Italy and Greece, Canada, here, United States, the UK, different places, India and Haiti. and I've been able to encourage people that, really, you're not alone. There are many people all over the world. Now, it is still a remnant. It's not mainstream at this point, and there might be just one in a small rural area or a handful in an area. But you need to understand that you're not alone. And so this is a ministry network. Carriers of Fire is the name of it. Let me go ahead and drag this over to this other screen. You're not gonna be able to see it real well, but this is the Carriers of Fire website. You can go to carriersoffire.org. And the idea is that we're connecting churches, ministries, revivalists, people in the prayer movement all around the world. And so we can be united, connected. We can encourage one another, provide an opportunity for us to bounce, prophetic revelation off one another. And it's also even in a greater way, it's something that I'm excited to give leadership to, and to offer some encouragement, relationship. Some people, desire accountability in ministry, pastors, leaders, and that type of thing. So we're going to go ahead and offer that as well. And so there's different things, and it's in development. Again, I'm not rushing it. This is of the Lord. There's been a lot of prophetic data about this that we've received, but we're going to just take it one step at a time, and we're going to watch God fill in the gaps, and we're gonna connect with people and just kind of see what their heart is and how they want to participate in a revival network. And so honestly, it's up to you all to communicate. What do you think? What are you looking for in a revival network? in a prayer network, something that we're going to be doing online. Now, I love to travel, and I'd love to. How cool would it be to develop relationships online and have meetings like this and conference calls and things like that, and then for me to be able to travel to some of these regions and meet you in person and minister in your church and pray with you and really help you develop the ministry that God has called you to develop and called you to lead. And so I'm excited about that. I really definitely want to see that happen. And so there's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to be looking at here. I'm going to take a look at this media page here, which this video should be streaming right here. Whoops. Oh, okay. That's not what I was looking for. That's something different. That's not at all what I put on there. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit behind the scenes work here, since this is an extremely casual moment, and don't know who's picking up on this. I'm sure a lot of you are going to pick up on this. At other times. I believe this is going to record and go to YouTube. I've never done this, but I think that's the way Hangouts work. But I want to see if this actually embedded, because I just added something in here, but it's very different than what I'm seeing. Well, there it is. Oh, media too. All righty. I'll fix that later, but let's go ahead and look at that. And so you'll be able, some of you might be on this site right now. In fact, I need to go ahead and update that because I sent out the wrong link. There we go. Let's see if we're live. That's the way. Yeah, we are. Okay. Give me a second and I'm going to send this out. Just sending out a tweet and Facebook update here. Trust me, future events will be much better than this. There we go. All right, if you're out there, if you're watching right now, I'd love for you to interact with me. Again, over on the right-hand side, if you're on the actual Google Hangouts page, there's a place for you to ask questions. And how do I send you to the actual page? See, isn't this fun? There, we got my link down there, and I'm gonna send that out too. It's best to connect. Video here. There we go. All right, good. So if you're out there, I just sent the link if you're on my video site. I sent the link. It's a long one, so I can't really tell you what it is, but just go to my Facebook or Twitter, however you follow me, and I just posted that link, and click that, and I would love for you to participate, ask me questions. That's something, I know it's so easy just to sit back where you are, relax, watch me do whatever I do, and sometimes people can be intimidated and they don't want to participate, but it just makes it better if you can ask questions. If you want to, you can go ahead and put my email up here. You can email me, john@johnburton.net. I'll watch my email as well, and we can do it that way too. And so shoot me an email, and let's bring that over here to my other monitor. And if you want to do that, I'll answer your emails. But just let me get into this just a little bit. I want to talk about really the vision the Lord gave me. Boy, it was a long time ago, 1991 or something like that. And he spoke to me about a city impact, revival on a city level. And he gave me Joshua chapter 3 as my chapter. It was really a divine moment, and he just downloaded that into my spirit and gave me a blueprint. And so this has been my blueprint for the last 2 decades. And so the idea here is that under Moses, there was failure at the end where people weren't able to cross in and to take dominion over cities and regions. But under Joshua, they were able to do that. And so we want to be able to follow in the footsteps of Joshua. And I'll just read just the first several verses. Joshua 3 verse 1 says, Joshua rose early in the morning, and which I don't like that part at all. And I'm thinking that can't be God, because I'm sleeping early in the morning, but that's how it was there. Joshua rose early in the morning. They set out from Shittim, and they came to the Jordan. He and all the people of Israel, they lodged there before they passed over. So they were in preparation. They were getting ready to cross. Verse 2 says, at the end of 3 days, the officers went through the camp, which speaks to military level precision, which is what we need to see in our churches again. Right now, it's casual, come as you are, do what you want, stay home if you want. And that's a whole other discussion, but we need there to be military level precision, because we need the laborers in position. Under Moses, they were scattered. Under Moses, there was disagreement. They were taking votes. They were, which direction should we go? Not under Joshua's leadership, because all those dudes died. Under Joshua's leadership, there was precision. They weren't playing around. There was bold leadership. And so the officers were going through the camp. And verse 3 says, they commanded the people, as soon as you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, the presence of God. That's why we need to be carriers. This website, this ministry is Carriers of Fire. And we're carriers of God. We carry like Mary. Mary carried God. We're to carry God and deliver him to the world. And so it says, as soon as you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God being carried by the Levitical priests, then you shall set out from your place and follow it. Verse 4 says, yet there shall be a distance between you and it, about 2,000 cubits in length. So it's saying we can't be driving the ship here. We got to stay behind and be followers. Okay. It says, do not come near it, in order that you may know the way you shall go, for you have not passed this way before. So God's raising up carriers of fire who are moving into uncharted territory, who are in a spirit of reformation, are going places that the church has never gone before. This is an exciting time to be alive. Verse 5 says, then Joshua said to the people, consecrate yourselves. This is the key verse of the whole chapter. Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And there you have our verse, our verses, our context, our mission. It's God has called us to take dominion. He's called us to move into other regions and territories, to advance the kingdom of God, to carry the presence of God, to carry the fire of God. But we have to consecrate ourselves. There are whole movements out there. There are people out there, they love this idea of carrying God. They love this idea of the fire of revival. They love the idea of God's presence and encounter, but they don't seem to embrace the consecration. See, that's the hardcore part. That's why the remnant is truly a remnant, is because it's rare to find those who will embrace the message. See, there's a lot of people out there that they love the hardcore messages. They love just the bold, prophetic, urgent truths of Scripture. But the problem is they do not respond to the mandates that those teachings place on them. The mandate of a completely transformed lifestyle. And so that's why the remnant is really small. And that's why we need to see the wheat and the tares as God makes that happen. We need to see the wheat and the tares revealed, because there's a lot of people out there who are tares, who think that they're wheat, or they're interested in the presence of God, but not taking up our cross. And it's a growing segment of society, and God's really working. He's working on that, and so that's something that we really need to pray through. You need to ask yourself. I ask myself. Am I one who I love the bold messages, whether I'm hearing them or delivering them, but am I really embracing the lifestyle? And we can get excited. Here, as an example, we can get excited about the bold message for 24/7 prayer, the 24/7 church. And man, everywhere I talk about that, people like, yeah, we need to see the 24/7 church. But the moment and I've done it many times, The moment I call people to action and I actually lay out a schedule for a 7-day-a-week church, then all of a sudden there are issues, there are schedule conflicts, there's little league and ballet and movies and relaxing on the couch and on cares of life. And so it's in our culture right now, it's very, very rare to find people that are consecrated to the point where they're locked in as soldiers, more than maybe 2 days a week, yet God's calling us to be a 24/7 people and to gather together in corporate prayer continually. And but the call is for carriers of fire to burn hot, to release the fire of God, in the cities of the earth. So there you have it. Is anybody out there? I have no idea. I can't tell if anybody is right now. I usually get emails later. People that have watched the messages. I don't know if anyone's live right now. If you are, and hopefully this is live. It's 8:27 on December 30th. It's almost the end of the year, and 8:27 p.m. and Eastern time. So if that's you right now, that means this is live. You can ask a question over here. If you're on the actual Google Hangouts page, you can send me an email to john@johnburton.net. The question is, and you can do it later after the video is done if you want to, if you don't want immediate feedback. But the question is what are you looking for in a revival network? Are you one who is out there and you're craving to be connected with other like-minded men and women of God all over the world, and you're ready to participate, you're ready to grow, you're ready to compare notes and these types of things. But I really want to know, what is it that you are looking for? What is it that you need? You might be somewhere, in the middle of nowhere in Sweden or the United Kingdom or Haiti or, Alabama or Montana or wherever. You could be anywhere, but you're not alone. You're not in this alone. So what are you looking for? I mean, what's on your heart? What are you thinking about? What would, on a practical level, what would benefit you? What would bless you? What type of events? What type of, media driven, online events? What type of resources would be a benefit to you? Would encourage you in the pursuit of revival? What type of, relationships and friendships, and what does that look like for you? Have you been involved in things in the past that have been really effective and you think would be effective now? So I want to hear from you. We could do an event like this once a week or once a month, or they could be on certain topics. We can have dialogue. We can, if you're on Hangouts, you can pop up in here and we can see you. We can see your video and hear what you have to say. We can have prayer meetings. We can pray and just contend together. Go hard after the heart of God. And there's so many different options. Here in Detroit, our ministry has transitioned a lot already, and there's a lot more transition coming. Really immediately, where we're moving more and more into a media ministry, and we're in prayer about how that's even going to work. Financially, what does that look like on our end? How do we make that shift, and how do we support? How do I feed my 5 crazy kids? All of that stuff. How do we do that? But that's part of the adventure, trying to figure out what that looks like. I'm excited about really hitting the road even more, continuing to write articles and ebooks and books and things like that. But what is it that you need? What is it that you're looking for? We have a certain limited scope, certain type of impact that we can have. There's certain resources that we are equipped to bring to the table. But what does that look like? Our heart is prayer, revival, these types of things. But yeah, we're going to definitely develop this network. Again, we're going to take it slow. Just I'm not going to rush into this. I'm going to see if it has traction. If it doesn't have traction, we punt and try again on the next possession, right? And maybe it's just tweaked or shifted or changed or modified or something like that. But but I'd rather start with your comments. I'd rather start with your thoughts, you know. So email me, john@johnburton.net. I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down here unless someone shoots me a question or an email real fast. But I really want to exhort you to do that. I've met people for various reasons. I think that we all need to be in a local congregation. I think that's very, very important. But sometimes it's difficult to do that. Sometimes people are traveling a lot. Sometimes I've met people, that couldn't even find a church in a very rural region where they're at. Some people are truly in transition between ministries. I even, when we moved to Detroit, that you don't even have to be in a rural area. And there's a lot of amazing ministries here in Detroit. But when we moved here, we just couldn't find a ministry that had, kind of our DNA and kind of a house of prayer type of, environment where people are burning hot for Jesus. And we really, couldn't find that as a church. And so we started a church. We started Revival Church here, and 5.5 years ago or so. And so even in a larger area, even though I still believe we need to be connected in a congregation, which is why I went ahead and started one. Well, it's not the only reason why, but we started one, so therefore we were part of a congregation. But even in a larger area, sometimes it's difficult. And in the process of searching and all of that, you might want to be connected to people who have your DNA. I've met people out there that they're watching our Saturday night, services here. But again, shift is coming, and we're really going to do more of this type of event, just me from my office. But then also I want to get you all, if this works, on video, so we can be doing this together. But so that's the plan. Contact me, john@johnburton.net. And I really do want to hear from you. Go to carriersoffire.org, and you can check out, the website there. Just getting it started. But, let me know what you think, and we will go from there. All right. See you, everybody. I really do need to hear from you. Email me.